All right, how we doing, everybody? My name is Tommy Birch, and welcome back to Tsunami Talk. Today, I've got a special guest, three-star punter from Indiana and son of NFL legend Adam Vinatieri. This is AJ. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm great, man. I'm great. So, congrats on the commitment.
Thank you.
UMass, which I could, you're
Yes.
wearing the shirt and everything. So, I was wondering, what made you choose the Minutemen, man?
Yeah. So, I mean, the recruiting process, it was, I'm sure you understand it's about every single emotion, frustrating, exciting. But, the opportunity that UMass presented to me, I had a lot of PWO opportunities to big schools. I had a bunch of different scholarship opportunities to a little bit smaller schools. But, when UMass, everything that they have to offer. I know that they don't have a punter, and they would like me to come in right away and punt, which was music to my ears because that's what I love to do. And I knew a lot of the coaching staff, and I was getting recruited by them when they were at Arizona. And so having that relationship with them as they moved to UMass, and it was just kind of like the perfect storm. I mean, the opportunity that they have, they did give me a scholarship. They wanted me to come out and start right away and be the man. Like it was just perfect for me. And the fact that my dad played in Mass and they love Massachusetts, my family does, they just think it's going to be a great fit for me. And, I'm really looking forward to it. So it kind of made my decision a lot easier.
Man, I mean, it sounds really nice. I'll tell you that much. I mean,
Yes.
so like regardless, not just talking about UMass, how was the recruiting process as a whole?
Um, like I said, it was about every emotion. A lot of in the beginning, it was very exciting, and then through the longevity of it, it got very stressful. And you're like, it's so exciting in the beginning. You're like, I just want to find my home. I just want to take those next steps. But I mean, I learned a lot and I experienced a lot, and I feel like you need to go through that to understand how sweet it is to finally make that decision and know how much it means to you. So at the end of the day, if you asked me probably before I committed, I'd be like, oh man, this stinks. But now after looking back at it, I'm very thankful for all the opportunities. And, it was great to experience it. And it was great to make a lot of, meet a lot of people, make a lot of new friends, and just have those connections. And yeah, it was great.
It's a huge weight on your shoulders, and it just keeps adding
It
on the more
is.
you go. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then you got like six coaches on your line at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
So I got a quick question for you. So your dad's a kicker. He was uh, a priority like kicker. What
Yes.
made you decide to punt instead of kick?
Yeah. So when I really started like training sophomore year. So I started really late because I always loved baseball growing up, and I thought that's what I was going to do. But in eighth grade, I did like kickoffs and a few punts and like field goals. And then freshman years, they had like kicker tryouts, and they're like, AJ, try out. And I was like, okay. So then I won the spot. So then I started as a freshman for the freshman team for kicking and punting. But when I was punting then, it was just kind of catch the ball and kick it as far as you can. No fundamentals, no purpose of anything. Just get the ball down the field. And then sophomore year, I got called up with the varsity guys, and they were like, hey, you have a very strong leg. We have a good field goal kicker. Why don't you try punting? And I was like, okay. I knew nothing about how to drop a football, how to punt a spiral. Well, I was just kind of messing around with it, and a few weeks went by, and I started getting the hang of like a good drop, and I was turning over footballs, and when I would turn them over, they were bombs. And I was like, yo, this is very satisfying. Like I enjoy doing this. I can see myself doing this. And so while doing that, I also was the backup field goal kicker as a sophomore. And I would probably say 65 to 70% of the kickoffs for varsity. And then so we had a kid who was our running back, who was a stud running back, and he did rugby punts. And they wanted him to do that because a lot of the times we'd fake it and he would just take off running. So, and this was the first high school I was at before my family moved to where I'm at now. So I never got to punt for Carmel. That's where I went. But just like that little instant where I learned that, if I really want to do this, I can, because it just kind of clicked for me. That's, I feel like, what's really kickstarted me into loving punting. I mean, I've always loved kicking field goals as well. But it just felt more natural to me to punt. And I know like a lot of people don't probably know, but my dad, when he was at South Dakota State, like he held records for punting. And then when he went to Amsterdam, he was like second in the league or first in the league for punting and field goal kicking. And he took the opportunity to go kick at New England, but he also had an opportunity to go punt for the Colts. So he was just as good, or maybe, to the same at punting as he was at field goal kicking. So being able to have that and have him work with me also with punting, where a lot of people think that he's only going to be able to help me with field goals, but he actually helps me with punting a lot too, because he knows what he's talking about. So that's kind of, I would really say after sophomore year. And then I moved to Zionsville, and then I started punting for them. And then I did like half the field goals that year. And then my senior year, I did everything. So that was kind of, once I made that transition to, okay, I really enjoy punting, that's kind of when it, made the decision easy that I was like, I love doing all three, but I feel like I stand out more as a punter.
Yeah, and I mean, I saw like I was looking at your stats, like because Max Preps,
Yes.
they had your averages for all your years for your punts, and I mean your sophomore year, 26 yard average. That's
Yeah, I don't even remember my sophomore year, to be honest with you.
but then you went up to 38, and then you went up to 40. So like consistency, and you just kept getting better. So
Yes.
how's like progression looking right now? How's practice been like leading up to college?
Yeah, so now it's really it's all about fundamentals and just reps, because right now it's more, back then, like years past, you're taking large leaps, and now it's more just fine tuning and working on the fundamental side of it. So, I mean, I train not only kick footballs, but I train every single day, whether it's doing drops, stretching, doing steps, all that stuff. And I kick about 3 times a week, which is not really light, but pretty light right now. It's just you don't want to get burned out. But like I said, fundamentals and drops, you don't get burned out of those. You can do those every single day, which that's what I do. A lot of people don't understand that 99% of a good punt is a good drop. And you got to be quick with your hands. And there's so many different things, like even just catching footballs, like catching, because your hands have to be good. And the quicker your hands are, let's say it's a bad snap, but you can adjust quick, you're still going to get a good punt off. So right now it's more just working basic fundamentals and just continuing to rep, so my hands get quicker, my steps stay short, and I have a quicker get off time. And it's the work that you put in are the results you get out. So I mean, I've been very, very happy with the uprising mountain right now. So it's been good.
I mean, yeah, this is really interesting to hear because, I always knew that it was important to, have fundamentals with special teams, but I've never individually been a huge special teams player. I mean, I think I had one varsity kickoff during high school and, I kicked off for JV. That was fun.
Awesome.
But like, other than that, it's really cool to hear like all the important, like, dropping is so important and catching the ball. But
Yes.
how important is lifting to a punter?
Yeah, so really the motion with field goal kicking and lifting. So for punting, it's not about heavy weights. It's about explosive, how quick you can be, like box jumps. Well, I forget what you call it when you like squat on the box, like speed squat and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
like that. That's huge. Split squat, but you don't ever want to go heavy because you can tweak something when you're doing like pistol squats and like single leg stuff. If you get hurt, then that's it. So it's like it's more about not how much you can put on the bar, but how quick you are, how explosive, how good your hips are, all that like quick, fast movement stuff. Because when you think about it, when you punt a ball, you're really exploding through your glutes and your hips trying to get up through the ball. So it's more about your fast twitch muscles and getting explosive. So training for kicking and punting is not about, like I said, not about how much weight you're pushing. It's more about how fast you are. So
I'm learning so much today. I feel like a student right now. Maybe I should start punting. You gonna coach me?
Sure, I got you.
So I got a couple questions about like starting with football. So you said you started like actually taking it seriously sophomore year, right?
Yes.
When did you first start playing? Were you like introduced like with youth football? Like how young were you?
Yeah, so I think I was in second grade when I started playing football. And then I took a break for a while. I liked it, but I didn't love it. Like I said, baseball was my favorite. And then what was it? seventh grade year I played for the middle school, and then I played eighth grade, and then I think and then I played freshman year, and then I played all through high school. But I really think, like Friday, there's nothing like Friday night lights. I guess it gets better Saturday night lights and then ultimately Sunday night. But, I think once I got the vibe of those Friday night lights and seeing your school support you and all that stuff, I just kind of fell in love with football. And that's what made the decision to stick with football instead of baseball. But, I played, like I said, I played young. And then I really took a break, I would say third grade to seventh grade, because baseball, that's what I thought I wanted to do. But then when I got back into it, I mean, there's really so much stuff that you learn off the field from football as well. Like, time management and being, like I said, being on time and working with the team. Like I felt those skills made me a better person, where it wasn't necessarily the same as baseball. And I just fell in love with it.
You're making this really easy for me. You're like, every question that you answer, it leads me into the next one, man. My next question is going to be, what's your favorite part of football? Like the environment, the family aspect, like what's your favorite part? Because you were talking about Friday nights and all that.
Yes. No, I think just, it's like, you understand, it's like a brotherhood. I mean, on and off the field, those are your dudes. So I feel like the connections and the relationships you have, they just carry on throughout life. Like, I know a lot of my high school buddies and teammates, I'll talk to them forever just because we battled together. And I always thought too, like, just because I'm a punter, just because I'm a kicker, I never wanted to be looked at like that. I wanted to be looked at as a football player. I wanted to work just as hard, even harder than everyone else on the field, so that I can gain their respect. And I feel like by doing that, I gained their respect, and they're like, you know what, this dude knows how to work. I respect him. He's not just a kicker or a punter, or he just doesn't go stand off in the side. I was always working all practice long. And I feel like gaining that respect and having that like connection with people, it's crazy. Like you walk through the hallways and you just seeing them, you're like, that's those are my brothers. Like, that's what we do every Friday night. We put on a show for the rest of our students and classmates and stuff. And I just feel like it's just super cool. You know what I mean? It's just super cool being able to go play Friday night, have a big win, go out to eat with the buddies, come back on Monday, and everybody's talking about the game in school. They're like, hey, good game. You played great. Like, that's just amazing to me, and I enjoy it. I love it so much.
Because the second you get off the field, you're just a bunch of guys. You guys are going out. You guys, it's the boys. It's
exactly.
Like, it's the fellows. So
exactly.
You were talking about like you wanted to be a football player. You weren't just because special teamers are football players. They work just as hard. I witnessed it myself. But what else motivates you to work hard and succeed?
I mean, really, like, I think, growing up, everybody's like, oh, you have big shoes to fill. Oh, your last name carries so much. But at the end of the day, what motivates me the most is me wanting to have my own success. I want to be my own person. I want to be known. Oh, you're Adam's son? No, you're AJ Vinatieri. Like, I want to be able to work my absolute hardest to create a name for myself and a legacy for myself where people see me and know me for me, not my dad. You know what I mean? And that motivates me, because ever since I was a kid, you just have to deal with things like that and people saying stuff like that. And what I love about my parents too is they're super supportive, and they always say, it doesn't matter what people say. At the end of the day, if you can look yourself in the mirror and say you gave it your all, then that's success right there. That is success. He's like, you got to go out there and be the best version of yourself. It doesn't matter about anything else. As long as you work your absolute hardest, you will be successful in life. And that's what motivates me so much, because I don't even want to prove it to anybody else. I want to prove to myself and prove to my family that I can do this.
Because in the grand scheme of the only opinion that matters is yours with this.
Exactly. Yes.
It's all you. Because, your hard work, this is what you're putting in. It's nobody else's work. So if they have something to say about it, it's not their problem. It's all you.
Yes.
I mean, I have full confidence that you're going to do well in school too. So
Thank you. Thank you.
So now I got some fun questions, right? I got 3 of them, So, go-to pregame meal. What do you eat?
So they normally catered for us, but my favorite was Chick-fil-A. We always Chick-fil-A. Yeah. They gave us, like, us seniors or us starter starters, what they would say. We would get as many Chick-fil-A sandwiches as we want normally. So
Okay. No, that's dumb. That's dumb. I went to a small little public school in Connecticut, man. That's we had like parent run potlucks like
really,
the night before, like Friday night games at home. But other than
really,
that, it was just like I don't even want to talk about it no more.
yeah, definitely Chick-fil-A.
So favorite pregame music, like artist, song?
Yeah, I mean anything that's upbeat rap. Like I like a lot of Young Dolph, a lot of Moneybagg Yo, a lot of Lil Wayne, just anything that could get me pumped up, but also like very, very like so that's probably an hour or two before the game. I'm trying to get all pumped up. And then I would say 30 minutes to when I'm about to go warm up, I start listening to like classical music, which you might think that's pretty funny.
No, I
But
could see it.
yes, no, as us like specialists, it's not so much about the rah rah like let's go. It's more of get in your own world, focus on your fundamentals, and be smooth, be confident, be calm. So I feel like just sitting there listening to classic music, I kind of just get lost in my thoughts and I just go through my fundamentals and what I need to do and just kind of envision myself in the game. And it really calms down my nerves a lot. So when I go out there, it's just feels just like another day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a D lineman, so they say, Tommy, go out, hit hard. So
Exactly. You got to be listening to the upbeat music.
yeah, but when I'm doing like homework and stuff, I listen to classical
Yes,
music
it's
occasionally.
really like calming, and that's what I need.
Like it sets me straight, you know. It
Yes,
like keeps me focused. So
exactly.
that's why I said I could see it. And then my last one is who's your favorite all-time NFL player? But it can't be your dad because that's cheating.
Honestly, I would have to say Marshawn Lynch. He is. I've loved him ever since he was a kid. Like ever since I was a kid. I mean, just watching him. The fact that he's like so funny and so good
He's one
all
of
at
the
the same
funniest
time,
guys.
he is hilarious. I think that yeah, it's definitely him. And I actually got to meet him like 3 years ago. And how he introduced himself to me was like, it's pretty inappropriate. I probably can't say it, but maybe after. He it's just something that I'll never forget. It was so funny, like the fact that he's the same person in person that you see on videos or on TV just made it even better. And I mean, just yeah, he's definitely my favorite.
That's awesome, man. So that's all the questions I got.
Awesome.
All right, man. So I really appreciate you coming on. Thank you, everybody, for listening and watching. So this is AJ. Wish him the best for UMass. I'll pop out to a game or two, you know, show up for the man.
Of course.
So
Thank you.
thank you guys so much, and see you next time. Bye-bye.